Have you ever looked around at your life and thought, this is not what I pictured? Not that it's all bad, no, but something just doesn't quite fit anymore. Maybe you have outgrown a version of yourself or the role you've been playing. Maybe your days are very full, busy, but you feel strangely missing from them. It's like standing in a fog, you can't quite see where to go next. You just know something needs to shift, but you don't know how or when or what the first step even is. And that in between space, that void, we don't talk about it enough. But we all land there where more than once in our lifetime. Sometimes it shows up after a major life change when the roles you used to play suddenly feel too small. Sometimes it comes quietly like a midlife whisper that says, is this all there is? And sometimes it finds you when you've been so strong for so long that you don't realize how lost you feel until you finally stop and take a breath. And that's exactly where I was. I felt stuck. I couldn't make a decision. Everything felt heavier than it should have. I second guessed myself constantly and I kept putting things off because I didn't know where to begin. But the worst part, I didn't feel like myself anymore. Do you know that feeling? I used to journal religiously in my 20s. Then life got busier, more practical, more grown up, and somehow journaling started to feel like a luxury I didn't have time for. But eventually, I found my way back to it. I just couldn't keep everything in my head anymore. It was getting so loud up there. So one day, I picked up a notebook, I sat in my kitchen, and I stared at the blank page and wrote, hey, I don't know what to write. And then I wrote it again and again. I filled several pages with just that sentence. Then I closed the book and I called it a day. But the thing is, I came back to it the next day and the day after. And little by little, I stopped writing that sentence, but the new ones showed up, messy ones, emotional ones, funny and honest. That is how I became a journaler again. And honestly, I don't think I could go back to life without it now. My journal became the only place I could be completely honest. No performance, no people pleasing, no editing, just me raw. It became the space where I untangled my thoughts, where I could cry without explaining why I was crying, where I could cheer myself on when nobody else saw my efforts. I became my own best friend, my own therapist, and my own cheerleader. It is not that it fixed everything overnight, of course not, but it gave me a way through, a place to start listening to myself again when I have forgotten how to do that. If you're feeling a little lost, a little unsure of what is next, you're not broken. Perhaps you're just in a moment of transition. And I know these changes might not look much to others, but inside they can feel like a storm that no one else can see. And that quiet storm inside you, it's not just chaos, it's actually where your next chapter is trying to take shape. And journaling helps you hear exactly what it's trying to tell you. If you want to start journaling, you don't need to commit to anything big. Just start with 5 minutes, find a corner that feels cozy, a quiet moment when you won't be interrupted. And if all you can write is, I don't know what to write, that is enough. That is actually where something real starts. You can scribble, you can doodle, I don't know, maybe make lists or ask yourself questions. That's a good one. Write in all caps. It all counts. And sometimes it's not even about what you write, it's your writing style, your handwriting. It it always says something. I notice that some days my letters are tiny and tight, like almost trying to make myself small on a page. And other days they stretch out and they're flowing. And there were times I couldn't even read what I wrote, which is very often. It feels so rushed. But I started to notice these patterns. And I would ask myself, what does this tension mean? What is my body holding that my words haven't caught up to yet? You could even journal about that. Just describe it. My handwriting feels sharp today, or I don't recognize myself in these words. Just let it take you somewhere. You don't always need a breakthrough. Sometimes just noticing what shows up on the page is enough. And noticing is what opens the door to everything else. If it feels a bit too overwhelming to start on your own from scratch, I have made something that might help. It is a guided journal with gentle prompts to help you find your way back to yourself. It's my gift to you and it's all free. You can download it below this video. Nothing complicated, just simple prompts to help you start writing again, or maybe begin for the very first time. Remember, you don't have to get it all perfect. You don't have to do it every day. You just have to begin. And if you do try it, or if you already journal, I would love to hear about your experience. Where do you like to write? Do you find a cozy spot at home, or do you bring your notebook to a cafe? Do you prefer open blank pages? That is currently my style, or prompts to guide you. Let's make this a conversation. And thanks for being here. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.